Hi folks, welcome to today's tutorial from EdTech University covering Chrome extensions and add-ons. Let's get started by looking up at the right hand corner of your screen. You should see your face or your Google icon that you use to know that you're logged in to Chrome. If you're not logged into Chrome, you'll need to do so by signing in. It'll be your district username and password. And a good sign to know, if you don't see any of these little icons, whether you've added extensions or not, this is where they're going to live. And I know the district has already, they've pushed some forward. So you should have some extensions already showing up here. If you don't, you're probably not signed in. So get signed in and you can start checking out the different extensions that you currently have access to. I will give you another little tip right here. Mine are kind of encroaching on my address bar here, and you can just grab this and drag it on over so that those don't invade all of your space. When you do that, they don't disappear totally. You just click on your little snowman or your kebab here and they're all right here. They're just kind of pushed back off of this main page to give you some room for your address bar. So, and something to look at real quick while I'm seeing these, some of these are grayed out and some of these are not, and we'll talk about what that means here in just a little while, and I'll show you how to manage those. So apps and extensions and add-ons are pretty much, they're just little programs that add features and functionality to your browser. So that's what some of these, let me see real quick, like our Read and Write app for Google. I know that that's pushed through by the district, and that gives different functionality to our browser, allowing text to be read aloud to students. And different options there. So that's not something that comes standard with the browser. It's an add-on feature that is through this extension for Read and Write for Google. So if I'm looking for specific extensions, you would just go to the Chrome store, and you can go to chrome.google.com/web store, and it'll take you straight to the web store. If you have any smartphone or devices like an iPad, you're pretty familiar with this process by now, I'm sure, because you have to add apps and different things on those devices as well. So the district, on your personal device, you may see other options over here. I think that there's a game option and a couple of others possibly, but I believe that the district filters those. So for your extensions, you'll be able to locate those here. If you know specifically what you want to look for and you know the type of function or feature that you need, you can search that in there. If not, you can look at what they have available on the page to search. Let's see, these are recently updated. I'm going to view these. Now the ones that have this green banner on them, you'll see some that say added. Those I already have, so I can keep on looking for whatever it is that I need. I'm going to look down here. Okay, some of these are for different functionalities. Maybe this one is in the category of fun. So if I would like to have custom cursors added to my browser, I can do that. These might actually be fun. These, this one's, it looks like it's free. If you want, you can look at reviews. There's different related apps, different types of extensions that may be offered, very similar to what you would do on your smartphones or your iPads or devices like that. If you want to add it to Chrome, you would add it here. Let me see, I'll show you. So you're going to say add that extension. Now, if you're leery about adding some extensions, I would say you can download it, try it, and add it to your bar here. If it doesn't work for you, I'm going to show you how to get rid of it. So this is downloading there. Sometimes they'll pop up and ask permission to use your page. This is going to pop up and give me like a tutorial. So that's where you would go from there. And then on out, you can see that this has been added. and I have that extension accessible right here. So another thing on here, let me see, themes are also on here too, so you can change the background. I know if you noticed on my home page, if I open up this, I put a theme on here. This just gives me a nice background that I want to look at when I open up my browser. I would caution if some of the students are looking at themes, I don't know about how well they're vetted as far as being appropriate or not, but just pay attention to that. So that's where you would get all of your extensions. Add-ons are a little bit different. They add functionality to, and they're created by people, just like apps in our app store. It's very similar, and they just literally add on capabilities to the programs that you're using. So if I'm using Google Docs, I just have a blank Google Doc here, and right up here there's an add-on button. Now I have a bunch of add-ons already here that I found that I wanted to try, test them out and see how I like them. And if I don't have any, or I'm looking for something else in particular that works specifically with docs, that's another thing. Add-ons are very product specific, so they're not all going to work on every product. So I want to look for specific add-ons to enhance my Google Doc. So I can use Lucidchart. The ones with the green checks in them, I already have. So EasyBib, great way for kids to be creating bibliographies. It's kind of a cheating way for those of us who had to write it out, but it is definitely a way to get those done. There's a lot of options on here, so you can browse through there. If you know what you're looking for, you can search in the search bar here to see if they have some of the features or functionalities that you're looking for. So again, once you've added them on, very similar, so I'll just click on this one. I have this already, so it's asking me to manage, but you would say add to Chrome or add to docs, it would say here, and you would just do very similar to what we did with the extension, and that would manage all of your bibliographies as the students are researching. So once you have an add-on here, and let's say I want to use my Lucidchart and I'm going to put in a diagram. When you open it, you'll see that it's telling you it's working right now to open that add-on, and it's going to pop up my charts over here. Now I have some diagrams already made, so I've created some in Lucidchart before and have them available if I want to put them in this document, or I can go in and create a new one. So that's basics on how to find an add-on, how to open it whenever you get it, and then you can just go from there. If you decide you don't want one, you can always remove it. You can always take it off. My list is pretty long because I do a lot of research. I'm looking for things to use in the classroom constantly, or even whenever I'm creating presentations. So I have a whole lot. If you decide you don't want to use that add-on, just close it out and it'll take you right back to your doc. But I mean, and I can show you what that looks like if I wanted to open it up, and I can choose one of these, let me see, one of these diagrams that it has been created before, what that looks like. If I have kids that I want to brainstorm and I want to have it added, this is what it looks like. I can insert it, or I can go and edit it to change it. And I'll just insert that into my doc, and I've got my diagram ready with a link to go. So again, when you're done with that, you can just take it out. If you decide you don't want it, well, delete it out, and then you have a blank page again to keep going. Same as with docs, it's the same with slides. So you go to your add-ons. I have a blank slide deck open here. Pear Deck is one that I like to use. You would have to open it. Again, if you want to look for add-ons that work specifically with slides, you can enhance your slide presentation or your creative abilities here. You can look and see what's available. Let me look. I do know Spreadsheets has the same. let's see. Let me look at an untitled spreadsheet. Let's open a blank one here. And again, there's add-ons. Every Google product that has available add-ons will have an add-on tab. So you can search as you need here. Now I have some, again, these are going to be specific that only work with spreadsheets. And you'll see everything here and be able to add it. Works exactly the same. If you want to add it, if you want to turn it on, then you would do it here. So all of these areas and all the products have a manage add-ons section. You can click that to go to manage them. If you want to, to do anything here, you can. If they need updating, the good thing about it is that they automatically update. So when we were looking at that web store and I was showing you this first one, let me go back here, it told me all of the ones that were recently updated. So I can see, oh, these all updated, and I didn't have to do anything. They automatically do that on their own, which is really nice. So to manage these, some of these, like if I'm clicking on here, I can go to manage extensions, or I can go to my little snowman here, my kebab, and go down to more tools and go to my extensions. Now I have a lot of extensions. You probably will not have this many, but I want to point out a feature here that some of these are turned off and some of these are turned on. Extensions can continue running in the background, which can sometimes slow down your devices or maybe cause other issues, especially if you're using a Chromebook sometimes. So that's whenever I told you that some of these were highlighted and some of these were grayed out. The ones that are highlighted are actively running right now, and some of them need to stay actively running if they're doing if I have them doing a particular job, they're doing that on each website that I go to. Other ones don't need to stay running all the time. Grammarly I have running all the time because I wanted to check my grammar in whatever I'm typing in and working in, so it doesn't help me if it's off. The other ones don't really need to be turned on, so I can just go through and you can turn them off. And this will keep them in place. You'll just have to turn them back on, and once you click on it, if it's gray, it'll turn back on. So I don't need some of these features. Now, features that the district manages, like our Clever extension, is going to have this little icon right here, and that's added by policy. So because we are using managed devices, the district manages that extension, and we don't have the option to turn it off or turn it on or remove it. But everything else you do have access to turn off. So I have a lot of them on. If you decided that you didn't like the extension, it wasn't working for you, you didn't need to use it anymore, you could always remove it. And right here, it would ask you to remove it. Are you sure you want to remove it? Yes. And it'll take it off, and your little icon up here will disappear. So that's how you would get rid of extensions. Add-ons are the same. You can just delete them out of there, use them. If you're going to use an extension, they're handy right up here in your toolbar. Again, don't forget you can change the size of this URL, your address bar up here, because if you have a bunch like me, it can take over. I appreciate that you've joined me today, and I hope you learned something new about extensions and add-ons and how to get them and manage them. If you have any questions, please reach out to an EdTech coach, and we'll be happy to make an appointment to come and see you. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to our videos on EdTech University so you can get these little tips and videos that come weekly.